Page 22, Country Gardens, a very famous melody in a lot of method books. This is a nice arrangement. There's different arrangements of this. No sharps or flats in the key signature. We're in the key of C major. Make sure you can do the C major scale and the A minor scale both, because that doesn't have any sharps or flats either. 4/4 time. This dotted rhythm, keep it crisp. That is, that 16th note needs to be short. Don't turn them into triplets. So it's here. 1 E and a, 2 E and a. Now keep it short. You can actually play it shorter than if you have to. You know, it's called double dotting it. To exaggerate, this is fine, because this is a fun piece. 4th fret, 3rd finger. So you're moving around all over. Just follow their fingering, it's fine. At the end of the first line you have a rest, come back up. I would suggest you just reach up and play the first note in the second line with 5th finger. It's an octave. Here, and then 3rd finger. Here. So the last 2 measures of the first line, it's here. Reach up. Here, and then 4. And again, reach up. Now it's 4th finger. Well, you got to rest. You can move up a little. Just make sure these dotted rhythms are crisp. Page 23, second line, we need to hear the 8th rest. It's like a 2-note slur. Down, up, down, up. Left hand. You can connect these for now. Then come up. And down here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, rest. You can read the notes as well as I can. On page 23, second line, when the right hand gets an 8th rest, so does the left. We need to hear silence for that. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2, rest, rest. So last line on page 23, here, and then reach down, and then here. And thumb, it's like a C major scale. Oh. Put the hands together very slowly. It's here. Rest. Get the idea. Page 23, second line. Again, the 8th rest. Both hands come up. As far as articulation goes, just putting these slurs where they got them. We want to hear that. Yeah. Otherwise, it's kind of a bouncy piece, huh? Last line on page 22, again, put in the slurs. Dynamics, well, it goes to the melody, it's the right hand. Moderately loud, whatever that is. Left hand's in the background. Put in a swell. That's your note. Wow. Keep the left hand in the background. Second line, you're going to echo that. It's soft. The left hand's very soft. Swell. You're going to go swell up to about a moderately soft and back down. Now, third line, first measure is loud. Echo it. Loud. By the way, in the right hand at the bottom of page 22, on the last measure, I recommend a 4 on that B, not a 3. The idea is I don't want to go from here, here, thumb again. If I use 4 here, the thumb is ready. The thumb is right there. Here. So the last 2 measures of that page, there's 4. thumb is there. Speed-wise, it's a fairly quick piece, more like an allegretto. I call it the fun speed. It's between moderato and allegro. It's just, and that's the flow, about what I've been doing, I think. Then the road map, look out here. There's no repeat signs anyways. You can just play it all the way through. You've got different sections because you see the double bar lines. That's between the sections. But on page 23 at the end of the third line, there's a DC, I'll sign, and coda. Well, the DC, remember, means go back to the beginning. So we're here on page 22. The sign is in the second line on page 22. Toward the end of the line, you see that circle with the crosshairs in it. At that point, you're going to jump over to the coda. So the last two measures on the second line on page 22, you're here. And then instead of that last measure, I'm going to play this measure in the coda, thumb, here. And I do it, I just leave the third finger there and here. However you want to finger it is up to you there. But when you go back on the DC, so I'll go to page 23, third line down, last two measures. I'm going to DC back to the top. You can, if you want, reach up and play that first note with fifth finger, and then third. It's like we did the second line that way. That way you just... But when you first start the piece, you can start it with third finger. That way, that's what I'm suggesting there. Retardando at the end, you can slow down. I don't like slowing down. To me, this is more like a dance. Well, people are dancing to this, and if that's the case, I wouldn't want to slow down. They put it in if you want to slow it down, all right. You hang on to the fermata a little bit. Not long, just a little bit extra is all. Now on these swells, say at the end of the first and second line on page 22 and over on page 23, you get them some more here. You can start those, each one of those soft, so you got more room to swell. Even though you were moderately loud, come down. On each one, I'd come down a little bit and then go back up and come down.